What's going on? So
I figured out why I didn't see it.
Why is that?
I didn't have the CPAP for me circled. Now I do.
Oh, there you go. It's a good website to circle. I strongly recommend it.
You're a completely third party and absolutely no vested interest.
None at all, except that I own it.
Besides that, no interest whatsoever.
Right.
So what's up to you, man?
Well, I wanted to play with this today just for our other endeavor together. And talk to anybody that wants to get on and talk about CPAP. But if I didn't realize the limitation of you have to be in the circle.
No, I just didn't see. No. I saw it under my notifications, but it was under other notifications. I'm just saying that's why I didn't see it immediately.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so I just didn't get the notification immediately because I didn't have you circled. So there's that. Let me go ahead and maximize this. All right, cool. So there's a couple different Hangout styles. There's the recordable one like this, and there's the other one that's a little bit more informal. That's just the hanging out and stuff like that.
Yeah, but this one you can broadcast it later. It stays on your YouTube channel. We can on this we have the ability, like you should have the ability on the right, I believe, for questions. And then the questions should pop up here, and then I can. So if you want to test that out, you can ask like a specific question.
You ask your audience to submit questions, and it will appear below. And so the questions would be, I guess, for the people who are watching. And so
yeah, I guess you're not listed as a viewer.
Let me see. So it says ask your audience to submit questions. Okay, no. Whoever is on the viewer side can ask the question, and it will appear there, so that you will see their questions here.
Right.
Whomever is on the watching side of it.
Yeah. So that brings up an interesting point. So whoever we have on the video, I guess we all are kind of like co-administrators on this.
The people who are the ones who are contributing to it, likely.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
Yes.
They have I was playing around with the backgrounds a little bit too. Under Google Effects, you can change the background, but it doesn't seem to actually change anything. I'm wondering if it's green screened.
I don't know. I don't know what the effects are.
Oh, it would be nice to be on a beach. That's what it has.
Well, okay, I haven't seen that. Let me see where.
So if you go to on the left, it's a little wand over the pad. It says Google Effects.
Yeah.
And then you can change it to backgrounds. It says experimental.
Headwear, eyewear, facial hair, props, sounds, backgrounds. Let me see. Now you can do this for your side.
Well, I don't know. That's the thing. So I see it here, and I have one picked. Oh, okay.
And that's really creepy. And I'm going to stop. So that scares me to death. It's very experimental, like frighteningly experimental.
So the one with the face, I mean, not the face, but the person cut out. I wonder how that one works.
I'm not sure.
The bottom one. How are you getting it? So when I click on
says
mine,
to blur the background, but it didn't really blur anything.
So can you see the background that I have up right now?
No, I cannot.
See, I don't know how to make it actually go live.
Okay.
So like I can see it on yours, like you're a face in front of a beach.
Yeah, maybe it's a camera thing. Maybe it's certain kind of cameras.
Could be. I'm just using the stock Microsoft Surface camera that's on the tablet.
Maybe that's what it is.
So
I don't know. I don't know what all comes with it.
Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of a neat little thing. So have you been able to work on the graphic at all for our other thing?
That is, well, the graphics thing haven't been able to do much with it. There's you and one other client that I've been messing with, but I know what I want to do with it. I just need to sit down and actually do it. So I'm going to try to do that in the next couple of days. So
okay.
I'm hoping to hand that over to you before Sunday.
Yeah, and I'm not paying, so.
No, I understand. No,
I'm assuming the other guy is.
Neither they. Well, no, they're not either. There's a website that it's called Great Treasures or Bible GT right now, but they're changing their branding over to thebible.org. He actually purchased the web address, thebible.org.
Really?
Yeah, it's thebible.org. There's another bible.org that exists, and they do a good job or whatever, but he's focusing on being able to understand New Testament Greek. And so the site, I'll get you a link to it, because honestly, I really, really like what they do. That is it. Pull up the chat window. Do you have the chat window open?
I mean, it's there, yeah. Can you see the previous chat that's been in? So do you see the welcome message in the chat window?
I don't see anything that was up there maybe before I didn't get here.
Okay, so then it doesn't
have a static one?
Yeah. So I posted a message, just welcome to the channel kind of thing. And
let me see if maybe
welcome to CPAP for me hang out on air. But I guess if you weren't in the channel, then you don't get to see what was done before you got here.
No. No, I do see your face in the preview window. That is the link you shared on your page, but I don't see any of the welcome messages now.
Huh. Interesting. So what is the Bible GT?
Well, what it is, well, that's where the link goes essentially right now. Like I said, they're still working on that. But what it is essentially is he was a computer coder forever, and he worked on all these different technologies when the web was very young. But later on, he became convicted that he had not used a lot of his talent for the promotion of Bible understanding. And so he put together this site that more or less allows for, and other sites have done this, I just don't think as effectively, being able to kind of work through New Testament Greek and learn it on your own. And so he's got 3 levels of understanding. The first level is just a parallel Bible, and then you can have like the Greek one up there too. The second level is like all the Greek word study and all that kind of stuff. And the third one is all like how to learn it yourself and understand syntax and declination and all that kind of stuff that I'm not smart enough to understand.
Fascinating. Well, and he does require, he doesn't allow anonymous users, I'll tell you that.
No, it requires a sign in, but that's because you also keep all your notes.
Okay, there you go.
So it is based on all the notes that you make, because he's working. Part of this is educational. Now, I have over and over again encouraged him to make it so that anyone could see a link. He needs to have a more shareable page. Like if I send you something from this site, I want you to be able to come over and see it, not have to sign in to see it. Yeah. We haven't done that yet. We're working on that.
So, I mean, I guess you could still copy paste that kind of thing. That's interesting.
But when somebody calls in, does it on your phone too?
Yeah. So if somebody calls me on the Google Voice number, it it'll notify me on the tablet and on my phone.
Google Voice is excellent that way.
Yeah, it's a neat little technology.
I use it fairly often.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I'm a slow adapter of some technologies.
Mm-hmm.
But I certainly have used it, like, so in our sleep lab business. Goodness, this person really wants to talk to me. Hold on.
Go ahead.
This is Dwight. Hey, Bob, how's it going? I'm well. Now's not a good time to talk. Can you call back in about an hour? All right, thank you. Yeah, it's another medical group that I'm working with, and possibly processing insurance, but it doesn't look like it's going to work out with them, so we'll see. But we use Google Voice as like a bat line, so we have one phone number for all the patients. You know, if you're at the location, you have not seen your technologist, and it is time 7:30, which is our start time, then call this number, and it rings all the sleep labs and the assistant director all at the same time. So
no, it's great. It's excellent.
Yeah.
A couple different things you can use it for. I have it. I mean, I picked one just because when I was looking for a job all those years ago before I started preaching, I just have it. So my number is it's 832-598-JRH. I just wanted something that was kind of universal. No matter what happened, I could answer it on my phone. I could answer it with my headset. So I use it with my headset all the time, and so I can send texts now through it. So that's good. So in regards to what you were going to use or think about using this for the other venture, the Q&A thing I think is good because that will allow the people who are watching to maybe say something about some things. You can add the screen share, which would be interesting. Like if you wanted to have up there, huh?
I can do that right now.
Right, exactly.
Like, there's the yeah.
Okay, well, it's still black on this end. No, see, yeah,
that's because
exactly.
It's
right. So unfortunately, I get to see my ugly mugs more. But what I was saying is, see that? Isn't that perfect?
So you can see what I have on my screen now, right?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. So what you could conceivably do is if you did the screen share and someone wanted to talk about a particular passage, you could have open another, you could have like a parallel of one of the passages. And so somebody said, well, I wanted to talk about X and Y. You could conceivably kind of pop over on the screen share to that text. Or alternatively, if you wanted to share a link to the text in the side, you could do that too. I know there's a billion different ways you go about doing that.
Yeah. I don't know. I was thinking more of the screen share thing is what I was planning on because I knew that was a possibility.
Right.
And I think it's just easier. It keeps everybody on the exact same page. There's no, well, you know, what I'm reading says this. And
True enough. And then you could do it that way. There are also several programs have parallel capabilities so that you could have like 4 or 5 of the major translations.
Yeah, eSword does that.
eSword does that. Yeah. Bible Gateway started doing it, so you can have parallels in Bible Gateway as well.
Yeah, on the webpage.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure we'll get a King James truther in here somewhere.
I stay away from them. I wouldn't invite any.
Well, like I said, my target audience is 6 billion. So I ran into one at a Bible bookstore the other day. It was interesting.
It is very interesting. It's hard to believe sometimes for me that there are people who so ardently stick to those things. And then someone shared a video from a guy who I guess he professes to be an educator about these kind of things, and he makes all these points. And I just kind of watch the thing. And I'm going, well, first of all, you're wrong. But aside from that, you're also arrogant. And I think that's even harder to kind of get through. And so it was pretty rough.
You definitely have to be gentle with them.
And they're not very gentle. And I think that's what's interesting. They're just really rough people. The ones
they are not. You're right. but we still have to be gentle.
Right. Exactly.
Because if you're not, then, well, is our job to be a prosecutor, or is our job to be an educator?
Right.
And our job is not a prosecutor; it's to be an educator. That's what Christ was. The only people he prosecuted were the Jews.
And they were the people who really should have known the best.
Oh, absolutely.
So have you done a Bible in a year before?
Yes.
Okay, so you made it all the way through a year?
Yeah.
Okay.
The hard part is going to be doing it in 90 days.
No. No. I've never made it through a year.
Really? Okay.
Just never have. I get February, March, April, and I'm like, and I think one of the problems is like I'll miss a day, and I'll be like, oh, I'll pick up tomorrow. And the next
I didn't do it. So I didn't do it every day. I would do a lot. There were a lot of makeups.
Right. Okay. So here's the deal. I did the Bible in 90 days, and I did it all the way through. Why? Because if you miss one day, you learn your lesson.
Oh,
you will never miss another day.
Yeah.
It will only happen one time. You're scared to. You're scared to miss a day because you know that you have another 15 chapters to make up of the next day or so, and you're going, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely insane. So it is a lot of reading. Now, it can be a lot of fun. Jennifer and I were glad when we did it. We thoroughly enjoyed it. We had a lot to discuss. I think that is the other part about this. The other yearly Bible, I had less to discuss. It was all pretty straightforward stuff. I have more good discussion out of the Bible in 90 days than I've ever had any Bible reading program. And it changed the way I talk about the Bible in a lot of ways too. It is easy to, are you familiar with the idea of siloing? The idea that the idea of silo. You start putting things that come across your plate into particular understandings, okay, and you categorize everything.
Yeah.
And what happens with siloing, and it happens in education, it happens at work places. Everybody's got their own job. They only think about their own job. They only think about what they're doing. Nobody ever thinks about reaching over and saying, okay, you guys are over here. You're not in our department, but you're in this department. And honestly, we want to talk to you people about the grand project. Well, it never happens. Right. Everybody's got their own thing to worry about. Okay, well, I think that sometimes we accidentally really look at the Bible and we end up siloing a lot of what's going on. What doing the Bible in 90 days really does is it breaks down that idea. You can't silo. You don't have time. Right. Everything doesn't exist in its own thing. Everything exists in the whole Bible. And so what you do differently by doing this, so you get into like Judges or you get into the Kings and you start seeing things differently and you start going, wait a minute. What's going on here is completely against what was in the law. Now, I remember that because I let it like yesterday. I mean, literally, it was yesterday when I was reading the law. And I'm able to see connections between things that I don't think I've ever seen before. So for the first time, I really picked up when I'm going through the things that David is doing and the things that Solomon does. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a violation of Deuteronomy 17. He told them specifically, don't have the kings do these things. And here you are doing these things. And
absolutely.
And so it really kind of helped me see a bigger, broad overview understanding of the Bible, which was helpful for me.
You're starting to.
Yeah, I know. So are you. It happens sometimes.
Yeah, it's something I've never done before. Maria's never done it. The 90-day thing. Maria's never done it at all.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing that together.
Cool.
And doing the hangouts together.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but it's a lot of work. For me, it's not. I don't know. I've never unfortunately looked at the Bible reading as fun. It's educational, entertaining at times.
This actually, it did. I think it was more fun than anything I've done. Maybe it was just because it was 90 days. And it was a hard push through, and it wasn't like it was a sprint as opposed to the cross country.
Right. Well, the other side of it, and the side that'll be beneficial for me, is the accountability and the challenge. For me, that's the biggest deal, is accountability and challenge. If there's not both of those, then I tend to lose interest real quick.
Which is why I haven't finished the year.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you
The-
know,
it keeps the
it
irons
is,
to your feet for sure.
yeah. It makes you do the work and really get through it and focus on it rather than doing some here, some there. And yeah, you can get through it, but
So, are you going to plan on asking questions you predetermined, at least on your side? I know you're probably going to do some Q&A stuff. Do you, are there questions that you are kind of thinking about asking?
so the plan that I have right now is to go with um, asking people to get a new Bible, a inexpensive new Bible, and highlight, maybe use 4 different colors and highlight things that are important to you. So like if you pick out a new favorite verse, then highlight that in pink. And if you find something that you didn't know before, highlight that in yellow.
I like
And
that.
really emphasize the experience rather than just, well, every time you see the word God, use the red highlighter.
Oh,
And
okay, no,
every
no,
time
no,
you
no.
see the
I,
word,
yeah,
yeah,
there is so much of that out there, and I think it is such pap. It is such marketing, and I have no patience for it. Um,
yeah.
I came across one
It
that
doesn't
said, "Go
engage the
through."
reader.
Do what?
It doesn't engage the reader.
Okay, first of all, it doesn't engage the reader. The other thing it does, and I think that this is truly a detriment. Okay, it literally colors the text for you for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
That means I can't go back to that and see something different than what I saw, because I will
right.
always see those things that I made that one time I did this. What you're saying is a way to do highlighting that asks for engagement as opposed to limits engagement, which is
Right.
to say I'm going to have a a capsule of this particular journey at this particular time, and I'm going to engage myself in these things, and that will be the one that I did there, and that will be a very particular thing, and it won't be go through Psalms and Proverbs and highlight all the times that sin and consequences come up, because honestly, Psalms, Proverbs aren't about sin and consequences. Proverbs kind of, but not Psalms.
Right.
Okay, so what I'm allowed to do in this is what I think this is really good. You're saying something you didn't know before, something that really stands out to you. I like that a lot. I think that's very good. Something that strikes you, and maybe that's I think it's good.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. That's the only 2 things that I have come up with so far. Because when I read through it, every time I read through the Bible, those are the 2 things that happen.
Right.
I see those 2 things.
Yeah.
Wait a second, I didn't know that before. And the other thing being, that's a really great passage. I need to remember that. And using those as different colors to really kind of as you go through. For me, I'll be using it as, okay, well, this is what I highlighted, and here's why I highlighted these things, and this is what we can take from that, and obviously, open that up for other people to do the same.
I a suggestion that you could take or leave, but from my previous experience, one of the things I did notice is I did see a cohesiveness to the Bible that I hadn't seen. Now I just talked about the siloing thing, and this being the opposite of that. Maybe if you come across something that relates to something you already read, or you
Yeah,
see a theme continuance. I don't even know how you would say that though. Like either a quotation or an oblique reference to something that was already said. For example, one of the places that comes up when you get to the uncomfortable account of Er and Onan, and and
okay,
and it is an uncomfortable account. And then you've got Judah and Tamar in this whole situation. You go, ugh, this whole thing, this is so terrible. Why does this come up? And then you get to the law. Now you're only reading that a couple days later. And you get to the law, and it talks about all these things about requiring you to take care of your dead brother's widow who's childless and provide
yeah,
for her. You go, oh wait, that's what that all was about. I mean, that was a whole explanation of why we do this.
yeah,
And then you hit Ruth, and it
right,
happens again. You're going, oh wow, this is about levirate marriage. Well, I mean, levirate marriage is not talked about in the text. That word isn't, but the concept is. So you get to Ruth,
right,
and you go, oh wow, and then it says, may your family be like Perez, and you're going, oh. Well, how cool is that? You have you have the failure, you have the law that discusses it, and then you have the success of when people do it the right way. And you go, oh, that's a neat connection. I don't know.
yeah.
To me, that was one
But you might
thing.
not see if you read it in a year.
Okay, exactly. And in fact, you probably don't. Or if you do it even in Bible classes. I mean, I don't know the last time I mean, I have constructed some particularly with that in mind, seeing the thematic elements that are repeated over and over again. Uh, but a lot of that comes from the fact that I read the Bible in this very same kind of venue and was able to see connections that are not just somebody stringing two things together, but honest connections. Going, wait a minute, that's the same thing. I mean, that's the same concept. He's talking about these other. I had never seen that before.
Yeah.
It blew my mind, and that has been helpful. So yeah, I would say that may be helpful. Maybe a thread.
Maybe that could be the color green. Key concepts.
Key concepts that are repeated. I like that. That's cool.
I need to write this stuff down, man. Old-fashioned pen and paper.
Oh yeah. Hey, still the best note taker. They've done all these studies that said that you certainly remember things better when you actually engage with pen and paper.
Yep, when you write it down. So let's just do this. Pink
favorite verses.
New favorite passage.
Right.
Yellow.
You said was something I've never seen before. New info.
New things you didn't realize.
The green, key repeated or key concepts. I think you said key concepts, and that was pretty
smart. Key concepts. So, hold on. Hey, Kendall, what's up? All right. Yes, it's still there. Okay. I can share it with you again. Yeah. That's weird. That would be the best thing, because then it's always shared in your OneDrive, and you can look at it under your shared tab in your own OneDrive. Like right now, let's see. Sleep Lab counts. Yeah. You can use a Gmail account there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All you need to do is tell me what email address you want, and then I can add you to the sheet. You should be able to. Melody did. Parker. All right, so I've shared it with you, and you're on the list of people that can edit it if you need to. Yeah, I'll just change it to share only then. Can change to view only. All right, so now you can view it. All right, sounds good. Talk to you later. Bye. You there? Ah.
Another option, I was thinking about the Bible thing. Another option
Just
is
to do what?
Another option. I was thinking about the Bible thing. I don't know how many people are going to want to buy a Bible specifically for this. I mean, some will. You could also conceivably send out links to maybe a PDF that they could print and highlight as much as they would like to, or make notes on. And so that is another option you could do for that, for the people who do not want to. Although, I mean, I guess the cost is about the same if you're going to print out the entire Bible.
Yeah. Well, it depends. A lot of people print at work nowadays.
But, so it's not a cost to them.
Yeah. They get to steal to read the Bible. No, you can buy, I'm talking about like a Pew Bible.
Sure.
$10. And it's not like required activity. It's just for those who want to go all in like I will.
Well, yeah. Pew Bibles are normally sold cheaper in groups. So maybe if you had people who are all going to sign on, you could do something and have everybody put into a Google Wallet account. But then you have to think about distribution too, which is never mind. I guess that kind of undercuts that anyway.
Yeah. I think I can get one. Like I think an ESV is like $13 at the bookstore or something like that.
Yeah, but then you have to read ESV.
Well, I prefer to read ESV.
I'm not just messing with you, dude. I tease my buddy Josh. He preaches out in Odessa. I tease him about using ESV all the time. Yeah, I
don't know why. It is the most literal translation available on the market.
Ish. It's kind of ish. I really wish that they would highlight the added words for clarity. That's one thing I have liked about most of the translations. And if I have one beef, the only beef I actually have, it's a real beef as opposed to just me messing with Ford versus Chevy arguments.
Right.
It is the italicized words, but everything else is just Ford versus Chevy.
I mean, I agree with you on that. An ESV Pew Bible on Amazon.com hardcover is $9.61.
See, $10. Easy.
Yeah.
And for your Prime members, So Amazon Prime has changed my family more than I ever thought it would. That has been a crazy deal. Like, I don't care what it is. My wife will say, I'll order it from Amazon. It'll be here in 2 days. And I'm like, wow, that is crazy.
And pretty soon it's going to start tracking you with your smartphone and delivering it to you via drone, man.
Okay. There you go. That? I heard about it. I mean, it's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah. So their new service is in high populated areas to go to essentially what is immediate delivery, and will track you with the Amazon app on your phone and literally drop your package off for you.
That's crazy.
So I can't imagine they could do it with anything incredibly heavy.
Right.
Nothing heavier than a smartphone, I wouldn't imagine.
Right, exactly.
But how many people order screen protectors off of Amazon and these little cases and things?
And what I love is the giant box they send it in. They'll send it in a box that's like 500 times too big, and so you can look, oh, look at the giant. Oh, it's just screen protectors.
Yeah, I order quite a bit of CPAP related merchandise, and it's you will have a like 24 by 24 by 12 box that has something this big in it.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah, oh, yeah.
tiny, and then a bunch of little bubble wrap.
Yep. So are you based out of Kingwood or the Woodlands right now?
Right. Well, today I'm in the Woodlands. I have a lab over in Kingwood.
Okay.
Of course, for my company, the home office is at my home in the backyard.
Right.
So I'm based out of Spring, technically, for my
Okay.
operations.
Is that in your normal distribution area?
Well, I can distribute anywhere in Texas. I can distribute anywhere in the United States.
I meant distribution, just to your normal customer base.
Oh, yeah. But I'm working on expanding that. I've got another. I don't know. Do you know Jeremy Dozier?
That is not a name I have not heard in a very long time.
Yeah. So he's the guy that actually originally got me into sleep medicine.
Wow.
And we hadn't talked for years. And then we had a meeting where somebody said, "Hey, you're going to go meet with this guy named Jeremy." I'm like, oh, okay, I know who that is. I don't even need to know his last name. I know who it is that we're meeting with. And sure enough, it was him. And since then, we have kind of been back and forth in touch. And he started a new venture where he can benefit from my services. So he's doing some stuff in Corpus Christi and in Bryan College Station. So we're starting to work together again.
Wow.
So yeah.
How's he doing on some of that other stuff?
No change. I mean, no, spiritually where he's at. He doesn't go to church with us by any stretch of the imagination. And some of that I think has to do with his wife. I don't know for sure though.
Sure. Does he go somewhere?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I mean,
sure.
It is something that I have tried to talk to him. He knows that I am here to talk to him if he wants to talk about it.
Right. That's the best you can do.
Yeah. I'm not going to, push it on him.
No. Well, no, he has to initiate those kind of conversations.
Yeah. He is a good moral guy at the very least, as far as I can tell. And, I'll do business with that kind of person.
Sure. How's his brother Anthony doing? Have you heard from him?
Strangely, I talked to his wife more than I talked to him.
That is pretty strange.
They're going to, I think they go to Bamble Road Church of Christ.
Oh, really?
Over on 1960.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% on that, but I believe that's where they go. They don't live very far from me. We every once in a while we'll run into each other at Walmart or something.
Okay, cool. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. It's good. So, and your family's all doing well? Oh yeah, they're just heck, you probably see them more than I do. I haven't been over the Woodlands in forever. I mean,
they're in Humble. They're still going to Humble Church of Christ.
Oh, I was talking about your kids and your family. I was talking about
my kids. My parents. No, the kids are growing like weeds, just like yours are, I'm sure.
Oh my goodness, it's crazy.
You're about to have another one, aren't you?
Yeah, no, number 4.
My goodness, man. You haven't figured out what causes that yet, huh?
Yeah, they never heard of that joke before.
Yeah, I bet. Today.
I joke sometimes. I say, people have accused us of trying to grow the church the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, well, you are. Well, that's good.
Kind of literally. But I love the kids. They're so much fun. And people are like, aren't you like freaking out? It's like the next one. I'm like, no, honestly, no. Because I got Torek. He's 8. Now is he useless? Well, yeah, he is. Because he's stuck his nose in a book or he's playing Minecraft or doing something else. But yeah, so he's useless. But if I tell him to do something, he'll do it. Go take out the garbage, so he can be helpful if you given very specific directions. He's fine.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is with mine.
I named him Torek, and I was thinking, big, beefy, strong, sword swinging Conan.
Yeah.
No, I got a book nerd. I got an engineer.
Well, good. Book nerds make more money.
Oh yeah, he's gonna. His math skills are kind of frightening. I think he literally is able to do bigger math than I am already, and he's 8.
Wow.
His math skills are pretty astounding.
I was pretty surprised. Mia brought home some first grade homework, and
they
literally in the first grade had her solving for X.
Yeah.
They didn't define it that way. They defined it as
they were going with
solve for the square.
Right.
But it was still this plus square equals this. Solve for what that is, and then subtract from both sides. And
that's right.
you know, it was more complex than I saw in elementary school by far.
Laying foundations for later stuff, which is good.
Oh, yeah. And I didn't get the new math. So uh, you probably haven't experienced, you may or may not have experienced this with the homeschooling thing. But, you know, when they started teaching me a new math, I had to really relearn how they're doing addition and subtraction versus what I knew in my head.
Right, right. No, they're trying. Okay, different places have implemented this in different ways. Some places have really kind of gone way off the deep end, and because it's different, it's better, and that's not true. But other places have just done this as an option because not every kid learns the same way. And so what they figured out over time is like, maybe we need to have optional ways for other kids to be able to learn the same things. So I think it's good to have options. And so some people who think very differently about math can really attack this stuff. Torek is kind of natural about those kind of things. So he'll look at the question as it is, very old school style math stuff, but he translates it to himself and does his own stuff. I mean, he does all of his stuff in his head. He's really fast and does a lot of things, just mental math.
It really is a boy thing too. My son is already like that, and he's in kindergarten, and just accelerates beyond all of his classmates in math. But when you get him on behavior or you get him on English, he's kind of running with the middle of the pack.
Well, Torek's English stuff, I mean, he appreciates English jokes, but he's lazy. So you get him to write a story and he'll write the facts. And I'm like, no, write a thing. Come on, get into this, write the stuff out. And he'll say, you know, he won't, and it's a waste of time to him.
Yeah, he doesn't want to.
It's not that he can't. It's just
You know what I did with Mia that helped is we went out and I bought a cheap telescope, just like the cheapest one at Toys R Us. And we went out, we looked at the moon, and just something that she's fascinated with. And we said, okay, so tell me I want you to write down a journal about what the moon looks like tonight in that star that we looked at. And, you know, where is it at in relation to our house, and what colors do you see? And it really got her to engage. Now, granted, this sounds sexist, but girls are more, they operate better at that age level, English wise.
It's not sexist, it's reality.
Yeah, it really is. It's both, in all honesty. It's a real thing. But
the struggle is real.
Yeah. But she was able to really elaborate rather than just the moon is a half moon tonight. Yeah.
Which is kind of where Torek hovers for some reason or another. On the English stuff, I know he can do this stuff. I know he can do it. He's really good, but he uses it all for things that make him giggle, and he can't write out full things. Like, okay, we came home one day. This happened about 2 years ago. So we come home, Jennifer, and the kids were really into Transformers that year. So the kids were playing Transformers, and so Finn said that she was Rumble, and Torek said he goes, well, I'm Bumblebee, and she said I'm Rumble. So Jennifer made a joke. She said, does that mean that you guys together are Rumblebee?
Right.
And then she started saying, so if you had a Transformer who couldn't find his footing, would he be Stumblebee? And I came in kind of from the other room, and I said, if he was a gymnast, would he be Tumblebee?
Right.
We went on it, and Torek, he was laughing so much he was drooling, for one. Yeah. And then he really got engaged. He wanted to do his own. So he was able to kind of fill in. He saw a pattern and wanted to kind of fill that in. And he was having a lot of fun doing that. So that's the stuff that he can do that's good.
Yeah.
Write a story. There was a moon. It was a half moon. We went and looked at the telescope.
Yeah. Well, what we did is you know, I would say to me, okay, so what does that look like? And she would write, and it looks like a crescent.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So it takes engagement. I mean, that's
it does. It has to be something they really
sometimes love. Not sometimes. Most of the time, as a parent, that's something I'm just not willing. Like, that's fine. I give up.
Yeah. So Mia is, how old is she now?
She's 7.
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah, she'll be 8 in October. Yep, they grow up, man.
They do.
Just it seems like just yesterday we were going to church together as little kids.
I know. Oh man.
Yep.
I've got I went and tried out at a congregation in Yoakum Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know where that is?
No, but
No, and you won't. So
it's probably somewhere about the size of Liberty, I would bet.
no, much smaller.
Really? Okay.
It makes Liberty look like a bustling metropolis.
Wow.
Now,
Okay.
it's an old town, and so it has a lot of history, and should, by all accounts, still be something functioning, but it isn't. There was a great leather company that was in Yoakum for many years, and they moved out of town, and literally 85 to 90% of their downtown is abandoned, and it was depressing. It was horribly depressing. So it's up north of Victoria, about 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like halfway between San Antonio and
Exactly. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's like Schulenburg, but 2 towns down from Schulenburg. And Schulenburg
Right.
is the halfway point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Saints were really nice. They were really kind. They were really sweet. But they don't have elders. They recently lost an eldership. And when I asked a question about how high on their priority list was getting elders, he kind of hemmed and hawed. And I'm like, that's not what I was looking.
Yeah, that's a bad sign.
It is a bad sign. Well, they're having bad. Okay, you're just giving excuses. I mean, I know where this goes. Okay, I've heard this. And so,
yeah, you have to have qualified men.
I mean, which is true.
They don't have to be great men.
No, they had to be qualified.
They had to be qualified men.
So Jennifer, and I love the way that she cleanly speaks about things. When we were talking about what's this going to look like, she says, "Jeremy, I just don't know if it'd be wise to make a lateral move just to be further away from Starbucks."
You have that big of a Starbucks problem?
Well, I mean, she was talking about the level of society and culture, available for things, and Starbucks to us is one of those indicators of whether a work is possible to reach out to the community. No one's going to beat the door down to your church building.
No,
you can't speak about the gospel on people's front porches either.
It's hard to.
Well, harder than it was in previous generations, because people actually would speak on their front porch. Now, if you knock on someone's door and you were not invited, you are an intruder.
You could be, yeah.
Well, okay, I don't mean to kind of shot at, but either way, culturally, they're going to answer the door with their arms crossed.
Right, absolutely.
Why are you in my house? I didn't invite you here. Now, that was not the case 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
And so the question is, where do then you do what you can to reach out to people that you may not have close relationships with? And Starbucks becomes it's the only open forum, one of the few open forums that I know about. I mean, if you have an older town, maybe if you have an IHOP, you can go to an IHOP and some of the old guys will be there in the mornings or the evenings.
Yeah.
But
the donut shop.
The donut shop is another one of those places where people will talk for a couple of minutes. So you have limited resources on those, and Starbucks becomes to us just one of those places where people will go, they will hang, they will stay, and you have the opportunity to talk to them. So, and that's really where she was going with that. Although she also did mean Starbucks a place for her to go and get away from like us. Because I tell you what, when she gets fed up with the kids, I'm like, go, get out of here. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you for 2 hours. Leave and then come back later. And she often just goes to Starbucks and just writes down and reads and does something not with screaming kids.
Yeah.
So it becomes a kind of a stand-in for a lot of things. But she was right. It would be a lateral move in a lot of ways, and I just didn't feel it was wise. But I do have another possible opportunity coming up in Virginia.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of a stretch.
Which part?
Norfolk, actually.
That's Western Virginia, right?
It's right where that big old base is. It's right on the edge.
Coastline.
Yeah,
coastline.
Yeah, exactly. That's where the Navy is.
Right.
The Navy, like all of them.
In the Navy.
Yeah, more. Well, there's that too, but so it's a little metropolitan, but it looks like it's going to be a neat place. I mean, the actual city is called Chesapeake, but it's all these cities that are right next to each other that kind of hop around the estuary. And actually, it is a city that has more of its landmass that is covered by what is called the Great Dismal Swamp than most of the other cities in the United States. That means that somebody actually found a place and called it the Great Dismal Swamp on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at it on the Google Maps now.
Yeah.
So the last time we went to visit Maria's aunt, was in Washington, D.C.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's not very far. It's about 5 hours.
Yeah, it's not far from there. We talked about the possibility of going to Virginia Beach,
Yeah.
uh, but we ended up skipping that.
Oh, what? Just to kind of look at the edge, to look at the water and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, see the Naval Yard.
Yeah. So I'll
Uh,
be right next to Virginia Beach if I go. I mean, so I am gonna go and I'm gonna preach a short meeting. It'll be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is neat to me, and I had not run across this much. It's a Friday evening, so like 7-ish. On
mhm.
Saturday, they do back to back at 3 and 4, which
Okay,
that's the face I made. That's the face I made. But
that's a lot of you, man.
hey, every Sunday's a lot of me. Um, I told somebody one time I went to the lectures, and I told someone, I said, it's really great to go hear good sermons that I didn't have to write. And he really thought I was being arrogant, and he thought that I was being snotty. And he called me like 2 weeks later. He said, I'm really concerned about a thing you said. I said, what? And he said, when you said that you finally got to hear good preaching that you didn't have to write, do you really think you're the only person who? I said, no, I don't think you understand what I was saying at all.
Yeah,
I get tired of hearing myself.
yeah, absolutely.
I really do. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
stuck in my thoughts so often. It's just nice to hear preaching from somebody else, and it can be
yeah.
good.
Gospel meetings are good for that.
They really are. I mean, I value gospel meetings more now as an evangelist than I ever did as a kid. I mean, I liked them, but now it's just we went because Paul Earnhardt was there that year, and
Hmm.
Paul Earnhardt blew my doors off. It was just that
Yeah,
good. Um, I don't know if you heard. My mom moved. She moved to Lexington, Kentucky.
yeah.
Um,
I'm friends with her on Facebook, so I've watched her career
yeah,
progress.
it's been kind of
Never expected
no,
that to
no,
happen, but
no. It's been a weird deal, but I'm really supportive. The kids were really down on her. I found it this. You'll find this interesting since you know the family. So Matthew flipped out about her moving. I mean, he came unglued.
why? He doesn't even live around here, does he?
Here's what he said. He said, "You're moving to a place where you don't have any family, you have no support system, and if something happens, you won't have anybody nearby to help you."
Which is
And we're all
exactly what
going,
he did. Of all the people that really could use a support system in your family, he used it the most.
so we all had to laugh at the great irony that Matthew
Yeah.
bawled my mom out for moving to a place with no support and no family.
I was talking to a friend of mine just the other day who's getting ready to move with her boyfriend, who's a doctor, and he can move. He can do his residency anywhere he wants. I mean, he is that good. No matter where he goes, they will take him. And they're getting ready. They're moving into the getting ready to have kids phase of things. And she said, I just don't know what because we were going to start having kids soon. I said, yeah, you need to think about where you're going because she's not a church goer. She doesn't have
Yeah,
a church family.
yeah,
Uh, and her family lives around here in Tennessee, and she's not talking about either of those places. I said, when you
yeah.
have kids, that is so valuable just to have somebody that you can trust, that you can call at 2 a.m. and say, I got to leave my kids. I got to take the rest of one of those other ones to the hospital because he did something rough.
Yeah, that's right. You got to have a support system.
Yeah, it's just so valuable.
It is. It really is. Matthew's done a good job of, out in Alpine. I mean, he really has a great bunch of people who know him very well. He kind of runs the town in the weirdest way. Like literally, he knows everybody. They know him, and he's very well respected in the community.
Good.
Yeah, it was weird. Like he couldn't go out to eat with like 5 people come by and said, "Hey, how are you doing? Thanks for blah blah blah. This is great." And he's like a rock star in Alpine, Texas.
Great. What is he doing out there? Is he a sound engineer? Or?
Well, that's his side stuff. He's really good at that, of course. But the other stuff he's doing is he works for a local computer system company, and they provide all the tech support for like the county. So he's a computer guy now. I mean, you bring in a broken machine, and he is. So he does walk-ins. They do installations. They do all the support for all the major businesses. I mean,
That's why everybody loves him.
that's why everybody loves him. He's a magician.
I mean, I have that same kind of reputation here where I work. I'm not IT,
Mm-hmm.
but it's amazing how much IT stuff gets put in my lap.
I mean, all you have to show is like, if you can logically diagnose based on elimination of the process of elimination, just kind of figure out what's going on. It's not incredibly difficult.
No.
It's I mean, I'm known as everyone talks about me being the computer guy over here at Liberty. I'm just going, this stuff isn't that hard, but okay, you know. But
Yeah.
the median age of the congregation is 70, so
Yeah. It's intimidating to them.
it
They're
is.
tiny little things. They don't, they don't turn over whenever you press a button.
Right.
It happens on a level they can't see. It's magic.
It might as well be magic. That's right.
Yeah.
So what's that Heinlein quote? Any sufficiently advanced form of technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yep, and it's true.
It might as well be. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, things like all your credit cards being on one card now.
Google
I get
Wallet,
that.
Google Wallet's what I use nowadays. I have a little cute Google Wallet card.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of that, or the changeable. You've seen those changeable credit cards where you swipe the screen on the card, and I mean, the fact that is a thing to me is just. I mean, I get it. I know how it physically functions. It's still magic.
But we live in the future, man.
We live in the future we created.
That's right. Unfortunately, sometimes.
All right. Well, I got to get going, but I appreciate you helping out here, and it was good talking to you.
I know we didn't do a whole lot of playing around, but looks like you had familiarized yourself with some of the things.
Oh yeah.
So I will put together those graphics and get that shipped to you, and then we will continue with this. If you want to, we can also do a suggestion for an inexpensive Bible for the people who are interested, because I think that is a really good idea. And so I think that we would do maybe even a separate either a graphic post or a separate suggestion post, and talking about the color markings and the Bible thing. So we'll work on that as a side thing too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be one of my next things for it. Now I leave out of town on June 4th, and I won't be back until June 21st. So
okay. Well, I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be gone just the 12th to the 14th. Now, where are you going?
We're going all the way to California.
What's up there? What part? First of all, what part?
What is that? Los Angeles, basically, and then down to San Diego.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, don't say that. We're going to Disneyland, man.
L.A. Ooh. I mean, my mom about 2 weeks ago sent me a thing that she ran across was for a job in LA. I said, Mom, if you take a job in LA, I won't visit you.
You won't visit?
I just won't go. That is like.
Yeah. Well, we're not. We're just going to visit. It's
sure.
We're going to go to Broken Bow, Oklahoma, and then we're driving over to the Grand Canyon.
Cool.
And then to Hoover Dam. We're going to stay a night in Las Vegas at the Castle Hotel thing. I think it's Excalibur is what it's called. Mm-hmm. And then from there over to Anaheim. That's the city I was looking for. Do Disneyland for 2 days. Do Knott's Berry Farm for a day. Sure. We're going to go to church over there with Ethan Long Henry on Sunday.
So, do you know Ethan otherwise?
Only online. I've never met the man.
Is he not like kind of intimidatingly smart?
To most, probably. I'm not intimidated by just about anybody. So
no, I'm just saying.
The only thing that intimidates me is size.
Is what?
Is size. If you can physically pound my face in, I'm probably intimidated.
No, but I'm saying, but he's a smart fellow. I mean, really bright guy.
He's very sold on his ideas. He's convicted in his beliefs.
Well, there's that too. That's a different issue. That's different.
So I know him through conversations that we've had about things, and when he sees something as a fact, that is it. It is a fact.
Wow.
Regardless of whether it actually is a fact or not. And
that's
so
okay.
We disagree on a few things, but that's it'll always be.
Yeah. I'm glad you're able to
go over there and worship with him.
Cool. That's very cool. That's very cool. I had to edit a response I made to Shoemaker.
Stop again.
Oh, I was gonna say I had to edit a response that I sent to Shoemaker earlier today. I just about bit his head off, and I had to get called down. My buddy Josh said, "You just need to back it off a little bit there." And I said, "Okay, well,
yeah,
that guy gets under my skin." I'm like,
you gotta, you will never win. You will never win, and the gospel will lose if you're a prosecutor instead of an educator. Every time.
You are absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct.
And I mean, if in my entire life, I don't impact that, if I don't impact anybody to do anything else except change that, then I think I will have done okay.
I think it's not a bad way to look at it. Educate,
Yeah.
not prosecute. No, it's a good idea.
Yeah. And
First of all, we don't have the authority. Say again?
I said that makes all the difference in the world, because the prosecutor's just there to convict you and doesn't care, and the educator will focus the message, tailor it to you. So,
that's right. Have a good one. Let me know
too,
if
man.
I can do anything else.
All right.
All right. Bye.